Okay, today what I'm going to show is how to build something that looks a little bit like this, which is basically a app that allows you to look at the different dams in South Africa and look at each of these cards shows the dams in a particular province and how full they are, 89.1% this week versus 106% last week. On this app, we can switch between the different provinces with the drop down at the top here. Once you've selected a province, you can also download a CSV or do a simple chart. We won't go into all of these details, but this is the idea. I made this using V0, which is an AI app builder, and a very, very small amount of work with the data. So I'll show you how we do it. The data for this comes from the Department of Water and Sanitation website in South Africa, which is, if you go to their website and you look at the state of dams, they list each of the provinces in the country, or you can click on a province, and what you see is a table showing you the data for each dam, its capacity, its state this week and last year. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this data out of here. There's a number of different ways. In some instances, with data like this, you can copy and paste it. So if you copy this data and paste it into a spreadsheet, you should be able to get the data like that. The other way that sometimes works if you're doing a lot of this is to use the import HTML function in a Google Sheet, which the formula is this. So in a cell, you say equals import HTML. Then you open your quote marks and your bracket, and then you do a double quote, and oops, I just need to actually copy the URL. So I copy the URL from the website. So in quote, double quote marks, I put the URL, then a comma, and then I say that this is a table, also in double quote marks, and then I want the first table, which is 0. So there, 0. And I close that. Now if I enter that, so the formula is import HTML, the URL, the table, and 0. Enter that. And now we have the dam data. What I would add in here is a column left. And what we need to do is remember that we want to identify each of these in the end. So what I could do is add a province. And then I could do, so this is Gauteng, so I could put GP for Gauteng, and then there. And then I've got that data, and essentially then repeat that process for each of the other 8 provinces, so you've got all 9 provinces. And then I would download this as a comma-separated values, which is a CSV, which will look something like that. So that's your data, and then you would have all provinces together. I have all the provinces together. So what I would do is, and I'll show you that data there. So I've already done this. So I've got all the dams and all the different provinces. You can see WC for Western Cape, NW for Northern West, Free State, etc., etc. So I have. Okay, so the next step would be to open V0. It's v0.dev. This is an AI app builder run by Vercel, and it looks familiar. Probably it has the normal prompt box like any other app tool, AI tool. So what we need to do here is, what I want to do is build something with this. So what I want to say is, so I find the combined CSV that I brought. So I bring that in, I drop that in, so I attach it. You can also attach it here and upload from your computer. But I've added the alldams.csv, which is a combined file. And then in here, I say, I want to build a... Okay, so I'm going to add in a prompt. And I've added my dams data here, and I wanted to add in a prompt which says, I want to build an app that makes it easy to explore dam levels in South Africa. The app should show 1 province at a time, a card for each dam. On each card, there should be this week's dam level, last week's level, and the difference between these two. The user should be able to switch between provinces using a drop-down menu above the cards. also add in a button to download the data for the selected province as a CSV file. So that's really all I'm going to add at this point. Let's have a go and see what it does. So what V0 will do is re-describe what it thinks that you want, and then will switch over to building mode, which is it's actually building the code for the given website. Okay, now it looks like it's almost ready. Okay, there's our dam level. So what it's done is it's built the website. It showed this week, last week, and the difference between. It does that calculation. I would double check those calculations just to make 100% sure, but let's think. Let's see how this works. So there's Gauteng, there's Limpopo, there's Northwest. So this is pretty much working like we want it to. Let's go to Gauteng, which is a smallish one, so we can see it. It's only got 5 dams, and then we've got a download CSV button here. So I download that, and let's see there. So we've got the province, dam, river, photo, etc. There's all the details. So that's our basic website. We could do a lot more to this if we wanted. For example, we could add an image, perhaps, to the background. So to maybe just make it a little bit more appealing, we could do something like add a background image to this. So let's add a picture. This is a JPEG of a dam, and then we could say add this image as a background behind the cards. Keep the image fixed in position. Let's see what it does with that. Okay, so once again, it starts talking through what it thinks that you want done, and then it will start rebuilding the website. The one thing about this, when you're building with an AI tool like this, it often takes quite a long time to rebuild the site, even for a relatively small change. Okay, it looks like it's just about ready. So there we go. So we can't really see it particularly well, but you can see that there's an image in the background, which just kind of makes it a little bit more appealing. There's a lot of different changes that we could make on this. Depending on what you wanted, you could change the color of the cards, add a bit more detail, or sort them by a certain order or something like that. It's easy enough. What you can do then is in the top right here, if you use V0, you can actually publish that to a Vercel hosting account. So I could share this with somebody, or I could publish it, in which case I can deploy to production. And essentially what that does is it actually builds it and makes it publicly available as a hosted project. You'll see that it runs through this process. Okay, so now it's finished building and the site is ready. So what we can do is go and visit the site. It will have set it up. You'll see it will give it its own URL, but there's your website.